Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is what kind of motorcycles do you prefer to ride depending on what you're doing with them and what kind of places you like to ride and what kind of CCs, things like that. Because we all like different things for different reasons. We all ride different bikes. And what made you choose your bike and why? Is it because it suits your style of riding? Is it because where you live in particular, that kind of size CC benefits you more than say something bigger or smaller? What is it that does it for you? Now we all enjoy different types of riding. Some of us like, you know, what I like to call back lane bashing, which is small little country lanes with a lot of undergrowth kind of either side of the hedge. And, you know, you shouldn't really be going any more than maybe 30, 40 miles an hour now. Now, for me, I love that kind of riding, but in particular, if I'm going to do that kind of riding, I like to ride a specific kind of style of bike to do it. So if I'm going to ride in that kind of area or that kind of environment, my preferred type of motorcycle for that is a 125 two-stroke road going trial bike, something like a DT or an MTX or a KMX, something like that. That is my preferred bike for those kinds of lanes, simply because they don't really go much faster than 50 mile an hour, but you can absolutely screw the arse off them doing 35, 40, 45, 50 mile an hour. But down those lanes where that speed is kind of comfortable, it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour. It's a lot of fun. Everything's whipping past the bushes and the hedges, and it's just you absolutely obliterating that two-stroke. And for me, that is my favourite kind of riding. If I could grab another two-stroke right now, like my goal would be to find my MTX, which I haven't found, but I've found a lot of details on it if I wanted to be sneaky, because I'm pretty sure that bike has gone to a scrapyard somewhere. It's nowhere to be seen. But with a help of a few friends, shall we say, I managed to find a lot of information about the engine numbers, the frame numbers, all these kinds of things. So if I wanted to, I could technically get that registration plate back quite easily with a V62 form. But I need to find something worthy of doing it, whether that be a project frame and building it upwards and making it look exactly the same. But I need to find one in that year and that model if I could. Even if it'd be used in a field, but that was the model, that'd be really good. I might be able to do something around that. Not technically the most legit way of doing it, but I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I could go that way about it. Now, on the other hand, my other style of bike that I love riding, speed-wise, power-wise, is actually a 600. Because where I live, as you can kind of see, is very country. Now, in those areas, I could get, and I have had, the maximum amount of fun out of a 600 around here, because again, it's a bike you've got to rev. It's a bike that you've got to get some kind of power bend out of to get the most out of it. Yes, it is a lot faster than, you know, a 250, a 500. You know, it's not, you know, not far off a 500, shall we say? But you are going to have to really rev it up the top end to kind of get the most enjoyment out of it, somewhere past 60 miles an hour. And around here, it's a lot of fun. And I've had XJ600s, I've had CBR 600s, I've had some of the older Japanese 404s, which aren't the same kind of power, but a nice power band for this area and a nice thing to ride in these kind of environments. Now, this XL1000 I'm riding around here is too big for this kind of road to enjoy it fully. Yes, it is a lot of fun, but I'm not going to get the maximum amount of fun out of this bike. It is very much a touring bike. It's something perfect if I want to go off over Wales and go over the coast. It is literally perfect for that. I cannot get anything more relaxed and more refined to go over the coast with. It's perfect. But if I want to be around here and just enjoying my fun, those are the two types of bikes I'm going to go for. Now I will say, if you've got a friend that's got another 125 two-stroke and you want to go back lane bashing like I do, and I'm not talking about green laning, I'm talking about roads, you know, little tiny country roads, backcountry roads, where you can really just kind of get the most fun out of those things. So that's what they're built for, let's face it. They're just brilliant little fun things to have. And that is kind of like where I would get the most fun out of that bike. So if you've got a friend to enjoy that with, and another friend who'd like, honestly, maximum amount of fun, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in the past with friends that had little two-strokes, going around these back lanes and just having a right laugh. And this is, you know, in the early 2000s, before intercoms were really a thing, and, you know, you just kind of pulled over on the side of the road when you've had your laugh and just laugh together. You know, it wasn't the same kind of thing now where you can laugh as you go and talk about it as you go with your friends on your Cardo or your Vodsport or whatever you're using. But back then it was kind of a social thing to go out and do that kind of thing and have a bit of a laugh. Now I've chose these roads today specifically because I've driven them a lot for work, doing the job I do, coming down these days, visiting places. But I come down them and I think, oh, the bike could be brilliant down there. But I've just brought the bike down here and I'm already at the place I'd be usually. And it takes me twice as long in a car. But I didn't get any enjoyment out of that. I thought it was going to be a lot more fun than it actually was. And it's quite surprised me, if I'm honest. Oh, I hate this junction. It's awful. You know what? We're going to go straight over. We're going to go straight over and try and enjoy some of the twisties down there, I reckon. Because, oh, don't try and kill me, mate. If I was on a 600 right now, and I'm seriously looking at an XJ6S, like a 2010, something like that. Maybe a 2008, I don't know. But that's seriously what I'm looking at next. I reckon I can have a lot of fun on these roads with that bike. A lot more fun than I can on this right now. I also reckon I could have a lot more fun over the coast with it, if I'm honest. This is just a cruiser, and it's perfect for cruising over the coast. Would I have fun on it? Yeah. Would I get a maximum amount of fun of it? Probably not. Not compared to, say, screwing the backside out of a 600. I chose this bike simply because I had the smaller one, and I really wanted the bigger one. And I'm glad I got it. I really am, because it's a fantastic bike. I cannot praise this bike enough. If you want a big tourer and you want something comfortable that you can sit on, I'm a chunky lad and I'm a short lad. But if you want something you can just tour on and enjoy, that's just got bottom end grunt. You don't want to go overly too quick, you're not breaking any speed of it, you're not breaking any milestones, and you just want to get there. Oh, buy one of these. But I will say, get the fuel injected version with the 6th gear. This is the carbureted version with 5 gears, and I constantly wish I had the EFI. I'm not going to lie. I would very much like the other version of this bike. If I was going to do it again, I wouldn't buy the carved version. But this bike was a hell of a deal when I got it. Quite a lot today as well, so I chose my opportunity to get out now while I can before it absolutely piddles down again. But yeah, I would say for living where I live, this bike is overkill. It is absolute overkill, and I'm seriously looking at getting a Yamaha XJ600S. One that looks a little bit like a Triumph Tiger at the front end. Oh, lots of water there. That is what I would prefer to get. And I just think, oh, I love this thing. What am I doing thinking about getting rid of it? Because it's so comfortable. It's like a big armchair. And that's the kind of riding position I like. I like to be sat up and comfortable, not slung over a tank. And this riding position for me is absolutely spot on. And why is there so much water on the road? There's always water around here. And it gets so slippy as well. Until the next one, like and subscribe. All helps towards the channel. I'm trying to build the channel. I'm trying to get better at videos. It's not always. I don't find things like this easy. It does push you kind of personally and push your boundaries and things like that. But I think that's good. We should all kind of do more of those things, especially for myself at the moment when, I'm struggling with some things just generally. So I'm trying to push myself to kind of do things I wouldn't normally do. Because I'm, just to see if that kind of helps with my day to day. And leave a comment, tell me, things I might not be doing wrong, things that might not be right, things that you'd prefer to see. Different way of doing things. I'm all open to ideas, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones watching the channel, and I want to make content that you guys are going to enjoy. I don't want to make things that you're going to get bored of. So leave me a little comment and kind of let me know any things that you think might improve the channel or help. And I do want to get another camera so I can put it on the front of my helmet as well, on the chin. But again, saving up, I've just spent a lot of money on my other vehicles and some money on this, and I've got some other stuff to do. So at some point I will get round to putting a chin mount camera on. But at the moment we're stuck with the Insta360 to try and give our content. I have got drift cell cameras, but they're absolutely rubbish. I do have a 4K one, and you can't even tell what's going on. Drift wouldn't accept it back, so they don't honour the warranties. If you ever buy a drift camera, don't bother. They don't honour their warranty at all. They just fob you off and can't be bothered. They want, even if I said to them, I want to send it back to you direct, they wouldn't. They said I had to go back to where I bought it. They wouldn't accept it back. They argued and argued and argued that I damaged the camera, and did I drop it? No, it's broken. It doesn't even have a display. It hasn't had one from day one. Never go. We're not going to go in that. I've moved on, and we're on to Insta360s and Insta cameras. They seem to be very reliable for me. I've had a GoPro in the past, but one of the original GoPros in like 2009, and yeah, that was alright. But yeah, the Instas are pretty good cameras from what I can tell so far. But yeah, let me know what you want to see on the channel, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Take care. See you later.